Welcome back to week 10 of the NFL analysis. This is also part 2. Go watch part 1 if you haven't already. Like I said, this is week 10. Therefore, I'm talking about the games of the NFL that happened in week 10. If you want to go see previous games, go back to part 1. However, let's continue on this train. We finished off with the Bills and the Colts. We're moving on to the Steelers and the Commanders. This was a nip and tuck game the entire time, but both teams are sitting with 7 wins. The Steelers with 2 losses, the Commanders with 3 losses. The Steelers won 28-27, but it was a good game. This shows that Russ still has got it. He's won 3 of the games since he's been hurt, and Jaden Daniels is still better than quarterbacks that's been playing in the league. Russell Wilson went 14-28, 195 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That's good for him. I expect him to have a little bit more passing yards, but you can't really do that. Some people don't catch the ball, or if you don't have really, you know what I mean. Jalen Warren went 14 for 66. Najee Harris went 21 for 53. Subpar running, honestly. George Pickens was the leading receiver of the day, obviously. 5 receptions for 91 yards and 1 touchdown. Mike Williams, 1 reception for 32 yards and a touchdown. I'm glad Mike Williams got incorporated to the offense. Obviously, he just got there not a week or 2 ago. I expect him to be utilized a lot more. Probably second in command to George Pickens, obviously. But I expect him to be really good because when he was playing with Keenan Allen, he was a great number 2. Great contested catcher, and he'll get you some yak too. Moving on to the Commanders. Jaden Daniels went 17 of 34, 50% completion, 202 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Austin Eckler was their leading rusher of the day, 13 for 44 and 2 touchdowns. Is it just me, or is it weird seeing Austin Eckler in a different uniform? I've seen him with the Chargers for so long, and then he goes to the Commanders and he's wearing a different uniform. I forget that he's even on the team. It's crazy. Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, went 5 for 113 yards. Noah Brown went 3 for 33. Zach Ertz went 4 for 31. Honestly, it just came down to the last. I'm sure, was it a field goal? I think it was a field goal that finished it off. Both teams played really good, so you really can't complain about any teams. But Russ is looking better than he has in a long while. And then Jaden Daniels is still proven to be the best rookie that came out of his draft class. The Vikings and the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is hurt currently. The Vikings are still in a tear. They're 7-2 to the Jaguars 2-8. What are they gonna do? Sam Darnold had 3 interceptions in this game, which is really uncharacteristic of him. From compared to the entire year, honestly, 3 interceptions. Now, previous years we expected that, but come on, Sam. Don't regress. You've been doing really, really good. And honestly, J.J. McCarthy might lose his job. He might be too. Just saying. Aaron Jones went 17 for 88. Expect that. Cam Akers went 13 for 38. He's a great number 2 running back. So good for them. T.J. Hawkinson went 8 for 72. Josh Oliver went 4 for 52. Justin Jefferson only had 5 receptions for 48 yards. Now, like I said, 12-7. Not really an offensive good game. However, a win is a win. A win is a win. Mac Jones was fired up to start. He went 14 for 22, 111 yards, but he was too much on fire because he was throwing it to the wrong people. 2 interceptions will have you burnt, scorched, just scorched, absolutely scorched. Travis Etienne went 11 for 44. Man, honestly, as a Clemson fan, I expected him to do a lot better in the NFL. But I really haven't been seeing him have 100 games. I think they don't incorporate him to the offense enough. I think maybe if he went to the Ravens or if he went to the Broncos, somewhere like that, a more run-based heavy team, he'd do a lot better. Evan Ingram went 6 for 40, and he was their leading receiver of the day. These are just terrible numbers all around the board for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They need to do better. And if I was Trevor Lawrence, honestly, you probably could have got a better contract anywhere else. Or you could have requested a trade. I'm sure Jacksonville is nice. However, I'm not going to lie. Don't hate me for this. But if he went to the Vikings, that'd be dirty. That'd be dirty. If he went to the Vikings, that would be dirty. Just saying. That would be nice. It would be nice. Shoot, even if he went to the Colts. Anthony Richardson for Trevor Lawrence. Would you take that trade? Let me know down in the comments. Falcons versus the Saints. The Saints beat the Falcons, which is really, really, really surprising. The Saints scored 20. The Falcons scored 17. And honestly, uncharacteristically, and what I did not see coming, the Falcons are now 6-4. The New Orleans Saints are 3-7. I think that's honestly crazy. I expected the Falcons to be a lot better. The Falcons are obviously sitting at the top of their division or conference, whatever you want to say. Whatever you want to say, conference or division. It don't matter. They're sitting at the top of it. Excuse me. Kirk Cousins went 23 for 38, 306 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Bijan Robinson went crazy with 20 carries for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Tyler Allegier went 11 for 59. So honestly, he was within this game as well. Drake London, one of my favorite wide receivers within the NFL right now, 8 receptions for 97 yards. Then Darnell Mooney went for 5 for 96. Kyle Pitts, 4 for 55. So it's not like they didn't play a good game. They probably just got beat. I mean, Derek Carr went 16 for 25, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns. No interceptions. Alvin Kamara had 55 yards on the ground. And then Marquez Valdez-Scantling went 3 receptions for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. We expect that from him because he's a speedster. He will run lights out. Now, why can he done that with the Chiefs? Just riddle me that. Why could you not have done that with the Chiefs? Riddle me that. Alvin Kamara had 54 receiving yards, so that basically gave him 100 yards of production. Taysom Hill went 2 receptions for 36 yards. So let's look at some team stats. Oof. First downs 14 for the Saints, 25 for the Falcons. So it's not like they weren't moving the ball. It wasn't like they were moving the ball. They were moving the ball plenty of fine. They about the same on third down efficiency. Matter of fact, the Falcons had 10 more minutes of possession time. How do you not win? Man, they didn't. I didn't even say that, but oh well. Moving on. The Titans played the Chargers. I'm gonna just go ahead and say this. Chargers won 27-17. The Titans are a terrible organization at this point in time. Harbaugh with Justin Herbert is probably the duo that we did not know that we needed. Props to them. Where are they sitting at now? They're sitting at 6-3. A year ago, what were they? Like 4-4 or something like that? 4-5? That's crazy. Let's talk about some numbers for Justin Herbert. He went 14 for 18, 164 yards and a touchdown. They just outplayed him. Because Will Levis had 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. Calvin Ridley had 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. He didn't play bad either. The Titans are sitting 2-7 too. Yeah, it was just a game, honestly. I like the Chargers. I like their colors too. The baby blue and the yellow. Whoever thought to do that? Give them a raise, man. I remember when they were the San Diego Chargers. The Cardinals beat the Jets. The Jets ran on the field, went when they landed safely. Because the Cardinals were still soaring. Flap like an eagle, fly like a bird. 31-6. Aaron Rodgers is abysmal. At this point, probably Jets fans can't stand him. They are now sitting at 3-7. And this is with Devontae Adams. I bet you he could have did better just staying in Oakland. Or Oakland. Las Vegas. Aaron Rodgers went 22 of 35. 151 yards. 0 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. And it's not like he doesn't have a good team. Because they've accommodated him very, very well. I'm talking about some people like Bryce Young. Or like Derek Carr. They don't have true number 1 wide receiver. Well, Derek Carr has a Chris Olave. Chris Olave is good, but isn't he hurt too? Anyway, I'm rambling. But Breece Hall went 10 for 52. Brandon Allen went 7 for 27. Garrett Wilson went 5 for 41. Devontae Adams went 6 for 31. And these are top wide receivers within the nation. That's terrible. These are college statistics right now. Kyler Murray went 22 for 24, 266 yards and a touchdown. And then you have Trey Benson, who carried the ball 10 times for 62 yards. And then you have James Conner, their leading wide receiver, 55 receptions for 80 yards. Marvin Harrison had 54 reception yards for 1 touchdown. Honestly, I'm surprised with the Cardinals. They're 6-4 now. They play the Seahawks. That's always a good game. Seahawks and the Cardinals, always a good game. Then they play the Vikings, and they play the Seahawks again. It's going to be really good. Really good to see. Really good football to watch. The Eagles played the Cowboys. Actually, I'm going to leave that for last. I'm going to definitely leave that for last. The Lions played the Texans, and that was a really good game as well, if I do say so myself. I mean, it was terrible that Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions to C.J. Stroud's 2 interceptions, or the 3. Let's just go over some play stats. Jared Goff went 15 for 30, so 50% completions, 240 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And he had 5 interceptions, and they still won this football game. So tell me who wanted it more. Go ahead and leave down in the comments. Jahmyr Gibbs went 19 for 71. I think it was raining this game as well. That's probably why his numbers were a lot higher than... His carries are a lot higher than usual because he really has really good numbers. Sam Laporta went 3 for 66 and a touchdown. But as Shannon Sharp did say, their OC, did not want to give the ball to Jared Goff because he was thinking way too much about where he was throwing that ball. And some of those interceptions, man, woo-wee. C.J. Stroud went 19 for 33, 232 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. This is definitely a fall-off here from what he had last year. I'm not saying that he's bad, but I'm saying he hasn't played up to his full potential as what he did last year. He had a really good career last year. Joe Mixon went 25 for 46 and a touchdown, uncharacteristic like him. John Mitchell went 5 for 74 and a touchdown. Dalton Schultz went 3 for 66. And honestly, Tank Dell went 5 for 39. They have a plagued with injuries at this point in time. I will say that. So, it was just crazy to see how this game turned out just by a field goal. I mean, the field goal, this is the field goal post. This is the ball. This is how close it was. Slipped right through. It was crazy. It was crazy to see, but it was a good game to watch. I watched that game. The Dolphins played the Rams. The Rams are a shell of themselves, but the Dolphins didn't really play that good as well. Honestly, the Dolphins beat them 23-15, if you can believe it. The last game that I'm going to talk about for Week 10 NFL football, Part 2, is the Eagles versus the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys are a shell of themselves. Well, actually, they were terrible anyway. Eagles beat them 34-6. Now, Eagles are sitting 7-2. Dallas Cowboys are sitting 3-6. This is with everybody was healthy. Everybody was healthy at this point in time. Excuse me, I gotta drink a little bit something. Everybody was healthy for the Dallas Cowboys, and they were still 3-6. Jalen Hurts went 14 for 20, 202 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Honestly, I don't know how people are saying Jalen Hurts isn't playing good because those numbers right there are good enough for me. Saquon Barkley didn't have a career day or a good day. He had 14 carries for 66 yards, and Jalen Hurts had 56 yards, 2 touchdowns, rushing the ball. The leading receiver was A.J. Brown with 109 yards receiving, and then Jahan Dotson went 1 for 27. Dallas Goedert went 25 for a touchdown. So they were still part of the day. They just really outplayed and outcoached the Cowboys. Cooper Rush, 13 for 23 and 45 yards. I've never seen that low of a number. Even Bryce Young is doing better than that. Just saying. And he don't got CeeDee Lamb. Just saying. Rico Dowdle went 12 for 53. Ezekiel Elliott went 6 for 22. But that's what we're going to do to fix everything, apparently. And, Jake Ferguson went 4 for 24. CeeDee Lamb went 6 for 21. I would have never re-signed with the Cowboys if I was CeeDee Lamb. $136 million sounds good, but if you're not in contention for it, why am I here? Am I just playing football just to play football? If that's the case, I'll take that $136 million. Thank you, and I'll continue to play. I just think it's crazy. Jerry Jones is a shell of himself, honestly. He definitely needs... I'm not going to tell the man to do what to do with his business, because it ain't my money. Nor am I in a position to take the organization from him. But it ain't looking good for your boy at all. It ain't looking good for your boys. Are y'all still them boys? But that's going to wrap it up for week 10 of the NFL analysis part 2. Go back and watch part 1. Also watch college football highlights and games and whatever I talk about within college football as well. But without further ado, it's your boy K-Stang, and I am out. Watch the video. Watch the video.